are adventuring in the lands of Toivoa. Most recently, you are off the coast of Nausea, headed westwards, slash north, as you work to find political allies and political power in order to influence the Lady of Shadows. To that end, you've made friends with the Shinozen Protectorate, and during that endeavor, Islarin got married to Rolmos Manigath. You are now currently aboard the Manigath's Might, the flagship and personal vessel of Rolmos Manigath and Islarin Shonozath. As you guys are sailing westward, it's a beautiful day on the seas. What would you guys like to do after as the camera pans down below decks, our friend Eowyn has just inspected 2 envelopes by holding them up to a lantern and discovering that besides the letters within, there's also some kind of powder within the envelopes that he was given by Mr. Verb. The envelopes are currently sealed with blue wax that has a signet in the sign of a bluebonnet with 2 daggers at the bottom of it. Eowyn, what would you like to do? Is Eowyn there? I can't hear Eowyn. All right.
Eowyn, you've muted yourself, I think.
Yeah, it might be the headset or something. So.
Oops, sorry, I'm right here.
There you are. So.
Just hard to unmute because I'm in a hotel room with 2 kids.
Okay, understood.
I wanted to see if there's something I could maybe poke the envelope with to get a small cut through it.
You want to cut into the envelope? Of course.
Just a small enough hole to get some of the powder out.
Do you have a dagger or a knife or something?
I should have one.
Okay. You're not there. Stop it.
Yep, that's why I stopped.
Don't make me get my pool noodle.
I think a very long one. really, really long.
Really, really long.
It's only like, what, 5,000 miles?
Closer to 6, but yeah.
Close enough. My pool noodle sword can reach over there and whap you.
I stopped.
Eowyn, as you pull out the little dagger and you look at the envelopes that were sealed, are you going to pierce this envelope?
I don't want to pierce it. I just want to create a small enough hole to get some of the powder out.
Okay. All right. So, as you poke a little hole in it, the powder begins to slide out. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
And no one else is there. Eowyn, you fall unconscious on the floor. Who all is around the ship right now? We're going to check around. Ayla, where would you be at this moment on the ship?
I was on deck.
You were on deck?
Hunting.
Okay, that's right. Enjoying this lovely weather. Kiki is in the Kiki's nest, I assume?
Yes.
Twilight, are you bemoaning Rolmos the driving of the ship, or are you taking your shift?
I would probably take my shift at this point in time.
So you are driving the boat, which
Yes.
means Covet. Are you near him, or are you somewhere else? Or are you enjoying watching his luxurious hair blowing in the wind as he controls such a powerful vessel?
I was, gosh, I probably was on deck last week because
Distracting.
I don't remember very well. Um, you know, I was probably writing in my journal and enjoying the view of Twilight's hair.
Understood. Islaren, where would you be?
I think this would be after that conversation that we had with Puppet and Kiki. I think Soren would have found somewhere to process her thoughts and write down some notes.
Okay.
Probably, like,
Would you be in your quarters, or
Probably
would you
would.
be out in the deck?
I think right now in her quarters.
Okay. Rolmos would also be in the quarters, resting. Not asleep, more of just enjoying looking at you do your thing. They're newlyweds still.
I mean,
And
that
love
thoughts
each other.
that ends.
It doesn't always end, but for many people, just staring at someone for no reason for hours at a time does get old.
Usually is followed by a
Indeed. However, he's trying to not distract her, as he's a very considerate husband. She'll notice him eventually. So, as Eowyn falls unconscious in his quarters, he slips to the floor, and the green powder forms a little mound right next to the letter. Eowyn, you are simply unconscious. You're not dying, but you have no way to recover consciousness at the moment. As the ship goes up and down, you guys sail westwards. Are you guys going to which city, I should ask? Where is your intention to drive the ship? Now, I would ask Twilight's Call, however, he has stepped away from his computer at the moment, as he has gone to Sai and his wife.
Not Sai, he's helping me because I can't move.
He's being very good.
I think
as a
we were
husband.
going to Kishu.
You going to Keishu? Okay,
I thought that's what we were doing.
awesome. So
I
going straight
believe that was the
north.
plan as well.
Cool. So instead of west, you are going north. Awesome.
Well, you got to go north to go west.
Indeed. As you guys are headed out, the day passes. Nothing of interest happens other than Ayla gets some sun, which, based off of her art, she gets on a regular basis. And it's a wonderful day. It's a little boring, but as Islaren continues her journaling, Romos will eventually fall asleep, and day passes uneventfully. As the sun begins to set, is there anything you guys would like to do before the end of the day?
I will continue to read the Minx in the Hen House.
Okay, the Minx in the Hen House. Awesome.
It should be getting close to the end of that particular one.
Yes? Awesome. You pretty close. I think you're probably going to finish it tonight. The climax of the book is coming.
Hey, has anybody seen Eowyn all day?
Oh, I've been at the cellar.
I haven't seen her at all. And usually I see everybody at least once. I mean, even Kiki came down to say hi.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Awen at all today.
Maybe we should go check on him.
That might not be a bad idea.
I was coming to look for you
door.
anyway, Covet, to see if you wanted to study, but let's go down and check on Awen first, and then we could study languages again.
That
Probably a
sounds
good
great.
idea.
I like that idea. So I guess we all head down together to go find Eowyn because
5 people go to check on Eowyn.
yeah, because I mean, like, Eowyn's usually like burning something, napkins in a pail.
I
Or at
mean,
least
that-
on the
if he's
deck
seasick
somewhere.
or something, maybe we can help him out a little bit. But I mean, I haven't seen him at all.
As you come down to his quarters, the door is closed.
I reach up and I knock on the door.
Yeah,
Knock, knock, knock.
There's no response.
That's odd.
Yeah, that is a bit odd.
Covet, out of concern, tries to open the door.
It is locked.
That's really odd. Maybe he was asleep. Let me just knock louder. Why? Knock a lot louder.
As you bang upon the door, thud, 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 thud. There's no response.
That's not normal.
Got a bad feeling about this.
Can anybody pick a lock?
I think I've got my lockpicks with me. I could give it a shot.
Lauren, hearing the commotion, will come over and ask what's going on.
We're trying to ascertain if Eowyn's okay because none of us has seen him all day. He's usually like, burning, napkins in a pail or something up on deck, but that hasn't happened at all today. We're just concerned and there's no answer from his door. So we just want to make sure
And
that he's
it's
okay.
locked.
Oh yeah, and it's locked. So we just want to make sure he's okay.
Well,
Does a 15 get me through the lock?
It does, yes.
And so I'm going to open it, but very slowly, and just, hey, Eowyn, sorry, not wanting to, encroach on your privacy, but we're worried because we haven't seen you today. Are you asleep?
As you open the door, there's a little puff. There's a little poof as the door slides through a green powder. And I need all of you who are here, meaning everyone except for Slaren, to roll Constitution saving throws.
I'm still driving the
Lauren
boat.
just rejoined them.
Oh, you just rejoined them? Okay. You're driving the boat, Twilight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not you. All right. So, Slaren, you are not unconscious. However, Kiki and Ayla are unconscious. I need Covet Von Sin to please roll a Constitution saving throw.
Holy
Did they
crap,
get
I got
plus 5 from
19?
this line?
I rolled a 10.
Okay.
No, excuse me, an 8. And does that plus 5 work next to Lauren since I'm standing right next to her?
You do get the +5. However, you are unconscious, and Kiki with a 24 is also unconscious.
Holy
Snap. Yeah, that's not good.
Islaren,
All right.
the
Right.
other members of your party have just fallen unconscious. What would you like to do?
Okay. First of all, I'm going to cast Bless on. What we got? How many people around? 5? Yeah, 5. Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, first thing I'm gonna do is cast Bless on everyone.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to um, move everyone out of the room,
Okay.
and then once they're out of the room and once the door is closed behind me,
Okay.
I will start. I think I'll start with lay on hands, and I'll just uh, start with. Actually, did I see like the powder or the
Roll your
green
perception check.
substance?
You're looking for a 10 perception. You got there. Yes, you saw the green substance on
Okay.
the ground.
All right.
It wasn't
I
hidden
know
or
the.
anything.
I
It's just
know.
out in the open, you know.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start by assuming that it's some sort of poison, and I'm going to try to. And I'm going to use the lay on hands to neutralize the poison on each of them.
Okay. And as you try to neutralize the poison, this is not a poison.
Hmm.
The first person you tried
Okay.
would have been who? Of the three of them?
Uh,
Or, yeah, three of them.
I think there was four because
Four.
Covet
You're
and
correct. Yeah.
Eowyn.
Covet, Awen,
Yeah.
Ayla, and Kiki.
Would have been Covet then.
All right.
Just going
Covet.
by who's on my screen.
Covet is cured of any poisons, however, does not regain consciousness.
Right.
Is it more like a sleep?
If it was asleep, some of you would not be able to be knocked unconscious by this.
Right. That's why I'm asking.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to examine them more closely and see if I can figure out what's going on.
Sure. Please roll an Arcana check.
Ooh.
With the 4, you have no idea what's going on here.
All right. I'm going to let's see how I'm gonna try this on. Okay, so this time I'm gonna go over to Ayla and I'm going to get one of my petals of Australian fire bloom and try to touch it to her lips.
Okay. Ayla, you regain consciousness as there's a cinnamon spiciness and a slight burning sensation on your lips.
Wow. What was that? Huh.
Don't know, but be very careful. We must not go into that room until we figure out what happened.
Yeah. What did you use to I don't know.
The fire
Like
bloom petal.
Well, I've got some too. I can try one on Eowyn.
Right, and I'll see if I can rouse Covet.
All right.
All right. So you each administer one of these to them?
Yep.
All right. So, Covet and Eowyn, you both regain consciousness.
Oh boy, what was that? Thanks. What did you use?
Fire bloom petal. Whatever it was seemed to neutralize whatever that was.
Okay, she looks around on the floor. Does she see any more of that green powder?
Negative. You are outside in the hall.
Yeah. Is Lauren drug us out?
After you were drugged out.
Okay. That being said, she tells everybody to step back away from the door, and she looks at us Lauren and says, "If I pass out again, I've got a fire blue pedal in my belt, so please use it on me." And then she takes a deep breath. After she grabs like some instruments from her alchemy kit, so like a spoon,
Okay.
and she tries to she takes a deep breath and opens the door, gets some of the powder on a spoon if at all possible,
You open the door?
with everybody step back, and I'm holding my breath.
Okay. How far did you guys step back? Are you within sight of her, or how far are you away?
I'm on the deck.
You went
I
up on
am
deck.
keeping her within 10 feet of me.
Okay, you're keeping Kevin
I
within
think
10
I'm
feet
still
of you?
passed out, right? So I haven't
Yeah,
stepped
Kiki's
in.
still unconscious. Eowyn, did you move
Uh,
away?
Kiki, are you still unconscious?
Yes, I mean, I can't actually answer you, but
I will go and rescue Kiki.
As Ayla
You
drags
probably-
Kiki up the stairs.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I actually want to stop Covet from grabbing the sample.
Okay. Covet, will you allow Eowyn to stop you?
She allows Aowen to stop her, but she explains she wants to know what it is that they're up against because it's all over their room, and it just to be safe, so we know what it is. But I understand if you don't want me to, but don't you think that we should know what we're up against? What this is?
I guess so. But I want you to know that I don't know what this is. I didn't know it was in the letters.
That's okay.
Oh,
We can put it back the way it needs to be. Just let me find out what it is so we can put it back, whatever it is, safely.
I was originally going to bring some to you myself because I want to try and identify it and see if it was dangerous. I didn't
Oh, that
expect
would. Go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't expect it'd do that off the bat.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, based on what we've learned about Mr. Verm and everything, and I that was a good call. But now we're here. So, do you still want me to try?
Yes, I'd like you to try.
Okay. So everybody stand way back. Because
I'd
I
suggest
don't know.
everybody go up on deck while she does this.
Very well.
Yeah, just check on me here in a minute or two.
So, everyone except for Islarin and Covet are downstairs. Eowyn, are you going to stay downstairs with them?
I'll stay downstairs.
All right. So, Covet, you open the door.
After I tell everybody to take a deep breath and take one myself.
Okay. Cool. As you guys open the door, because you guys took a deep breath, You watch the little powder poof a little bit. Covet, you're able to get a little spoonful of it. What would you like to do?
Okay. I would like to close the door and before, still hold, like, kind of taking my hand and putting it over my nose kind of situation and walking down the hall away from the poof that could still be there, and then releasing my breath.
Okay. Awesome. So I need you to go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw.
Sure.
Because
Of course you do.
there's still this spoonful in front of you. It's Lauren and Eowyn. I also need you to make Constitution saving throws.
Do you have a bottle or something you can put it in?
It's Lauren, you're fine. Eowyn, however, falls unconscious once again.
I rolled a 14
You are
plus
unconscious.
bless. That's
Yeah.
still not gonna.
No,
Okay.
even if you roll a 4 on the bless, plus 5 from Miss Lauren, you're still unconscious.
Great. Okay.
And as you fall unconscious, the spoonful of green powder spills across the floor.
Great. Now we can't go in the hallway.
I've got a
Did
I've got a
anybody
flask.
mind
I
talk
have a-
to
I
Romulus?
have a flask in my alchemy kit. If we can just get me away from it, away from the powder, and everybody away from that, I can put the powder in the flask. I just gotta wake up.
I'll follow Covet's instructions that she gave earlier and administer one of her fire bloom petals to her.
Okay?
And one of my own to Aowen as well.
Okay. You both regain consciousness. Now, are you guys still in the hallway when you do this?
I'm gonna take them out of the hallway first.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. You take them up onto the deck, I assume?
Yep.
All right. Cool. As you guys get up in the fresh air and are administered the fire blooms, you regain consciousness.
Miss Lauren seems to be immune.
What have y'all been doing? All I see is y'all popping up and down like a whack-a-mole.
You're doing a great job piloting the ship, my love. I'm
Why were
working
they
on
dragging
alchemy.
you on deck?
I'm working on alchemy and it's not going over well, so I'm trying to fix it. And she digs through her pack and pulls out a flask with a cork.
Okay.
This all started when y'all went to go talk with Aowen. What happened?
We'll tell you about it later. I promise we'll tell you.
Is Lauren, maybe you should put the powder in the vial. Just a suggestion here.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a good idea.
and Covet just holds out the flask expectantly at Islaren.
Right, I'll do it.
You're the best. Thank you.
Twilight will actually give Islaren a bardic inspiration.
What form does that take? What are you doing that is inspiring to Islaren?
Sailing the ship.
Sailing the ship just that damn well? Well,
Absolutely.
as he manages to navigate through a rogue wave without causing anything to topple or anything, you're inspired by his dexterous driving.
And it's actually 1d10.
Okay. Before I go back to go collect the powder, I will whisper to Covet. Is there a reason you are not telling him the details?
Because at the moment he will try to protect me from trying to protect you guys and figuring out what this is. And that's not going to do anybody any good.
Granted. And she will go
Yeah.
downstairs, cast
Needs to keep his
cast
mind
bless on
shit.
herself,
Okay.
and hold her breath.
All right. As you go down below deck, you can see the spilled green powder on the floor, the wood floor. It's going to be a pain in the butt to get all this powder out of that wood grain.
And hold your breath.
Because if even operating under the assumption that if even back of it be a problem, then yeah, I'm gonna get as much as I possibly can, but the finer detail work is not this Lauren's strength, so
Understood?
I'll get what I can into the flask.
Cool. You collect some of this green powder.
Definitely don't want to just scatter the rest with gusts of wind, because that
Aw.
feels like it could go. That feels like that could go really wrong.
You think?
Just a hunch.
Just a hunch. Yeah, guess what? You're right.
Right. So I will seal the flask. I believe Covet gave me a cork.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And I will take that back up to her.
Cool. Islarin will come up the stairs onto the deck with a corked flask of green powder. You've got, let's say a teaspoon worth in there.
Okay.
What kind of hole did Aowen make into that envelope?
It doesn't
It's
take
a
much.
tiny hole.
It's a tiny hole. But if you guys have ever opened a envelope that has powder in it or a little sachet, if you open just a little tiny hole of, let's say, oatmeal, right? And that thing just pours out the little hole, especially when you're unconscious.
You don't do it on the corner. You do it on the high side, and then you tilt the envelope to just get a couple of kernels out.
I don't regularly open envelopes that have powder in them. And if you're doing it that way, that is the wrong way to open a oatmeal packet. Just saying.
The correct
We're
way
talking
to
about
open
oatmeal.
the
I'm talking about
correct
something
way.
that's got suspicious powder on the inside.
You put a pinhole in an envelope. If it has even like talcum powder in it, you put a pinhole in it and it's going to pour talcum
Yep.
powder.
At a corner,
Everywhere.
absolutely. But if you do it at the middle or to the high side, and then you just rotate just a little bit so that you get a little bit out.
But that's not what Aowen did.
Nope. And on top of it, that's not the correct way to open up a letter that you want to reseal either.
Right.
So that being
Burning
said,
letters with.
Wait a second, Covet. Can you please describe how you open letters you want to reseal?
easy. You steam it.
Oh. Do you speak from experience, Covet?
Steam's the absolute best.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that.
Very well.
And if it has a wax seal, that's easy to fix.
Oh yeah, real easy. I'm getting
I'm
scared over here by Twilight. The fact that I know all this stuff, it's scaring him.
Aowen, where did that powder come from?
Aowen?
Is it a secret?
Gawain is dealing with IRL stuff.
So that's what Kiki's going to try to, but because I'm assuming we don't know that it came from the envelopes at this point.
Correct.
So yeah, so that, Kiki's going to try to investigate what's going on. Like, how did this
I
how
do.
did it get there?
I know how it got there because Aowen told me, if I'm correct, just a couple minutes ago.
Right.
Okay.
Anyone didn't make envelopes.
Did they say envelopes? I don't know. That's why I'm asking because I'm fuzzy on that at the moment.
Did not say envelopes. I think they were investigating. Actually, I believe they did say envelopes. They said they wanted to find out what was in the envelopes.
Okay, so if we're going with that, then I will explain to Kiki what happened and be like, and hold up this flask and be like, well, apparently I need to figure out what this is. So GM, could I use the identify, or would I need to use alchemy or like arcana to figure out what this is? Or how would I figure out what this is?
I'm open to how you would like to try to do this. You do know that for identify, you have to touch it.
Well, I've touched
That's
it.
what
I've
I was
smelled
gonna
it.
say.
Does that count?
You would need to do it during the
roll
casting of the spell.
All
And
right.
not
and
pass
al-
out.
Yeah, so that's not going to work. So what about alchemy? What if I did this away from everybody, where I'm upwind, everybody is upwind from this thing, and I'm like on the edge of the ship where nobody else, where if if the wind is blowing, I'm upwind, everybody's upwind, and if it's gonna blow somewhere, it's gonna blow off the ship
Okay.
and not on anybody.
It'd be like doing it under a hood.
Exactly. So
That should work.
if I did that and try to use my alchemy skills to proficiency to figure out what it is, would that work, GM?
Yes.
Potentially.
I'm fine with that if you want to try that.
All right, so I'm going to roll my alchemy then.
Twilight, roll your perception check. Yeah, you would
And do
hear
I-
this because they're not being secretive.
Oh no, I'm not being secretive at all.
Evan, where'd you get that?
Aowen, and I'll explain here in a minute. And does that bless still work for me?
We'll say yes, just because I think it'd be nice.
How does a 10 work? Does that work?
It does not work. You have no idea what this is. In spite of your medical knowledge and your alchemical practice, you have never seen this type of powder before.
Fantastic. Can I try one more thing?
Of course. One more thing, Jackie.
Oh, thank you.
Back.
I'm gonna try.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna try. Okay. Probably history, because how she's been looking up recipes and stuff like that, alchemy stuff. So she's gonna try history and see if that works. And if that doesn't, then we'll let it be.
Okay.
With my bless, let's do bless.
There's your 3. However, Bless doesn't
18
help
total.
with 18 for history. Bless doesn't help with history, that would be guidance, but someone can cast guidance on you. So we'll say that happened.
Okay, that's fair.
So
All right.
it's the same thing.
18 total.
18. You have no idea what this is. This is a very exotic substance, and unfortunately, with an 18, you do not know.
Interesting. Anyone, I have no idea what this is, and I would suggest we try to put it back where it belongs and not mess with holes in envelopes or anything.
I don't think we should put it back. I think we should just keep it somewhere else for now.
Okay, that's a good idea. I would suggest you stay away from your room because that stuff's going to be everywhere. It's really fine. I don't know if you're going to be able to stay there, like, for the rest of the voyage. I mean, does anybody have any caution tape or something that we could put across his room?
You have something
Well,
with the powder.
yeah,
coating
but
put
what
on?
about the hallway? It fell in the hallway too.
I mean,
Hey, what did you say?
yeah,
You
Aaron.
have something to put it in, maybe? I mean, it's my mess. I should be the one cleaning it up.
I'm wondering if pouring a bucket of water, like
Hold on.
in the hallway, like you swapped it in the hallway, if that would, if we could get it up that way, or if it would by any, because of the salt and everything in the water, I'm wondering if it would neutralize.
Wait a
it.
minute. You're telling me that you got 2 envelopes that had powder in them. We just talked about what this blue flower vern was capable of doing. You decided to open it, get knocked out, and then knock out half the rest of the crew, and y'all are still messing with this stuff?
I was trying to figure out how to neutralize it so it doesn't bother anybody, and we can put it back in its confines safely.
And you still want to
apparently-
mess with it?
We gotta clean it up somehow so we don't all.
There's a whole
I-
ocean right here that we can throw it in.
I should be the one to clean it up. I kind of messed up after all.
I'm not even talking to Eowyn,
Hey,
who
Wynn.
brought us into this mess right now.
Violet, would you like to continue this conversation at a lower volume?
Yes.
Pause and take a little bit of
We-
a
we-
breath while glaring daggers at Eowyn.
My love, steer the ship. We will handle this.
Because y'all have handled it so well thus far.
Worry about what you got to worry about, and let us handle the rest.
Lauren is right. We need to deal with this with cool heads. And right now, we all need to take a breath, not around the green mist stuff, powder stuff, and we got to clean it up. So I think that's a very good idea of trying to neutralize it with the salt water from the sea and hopefully clean it up.
Or
I've
flying.
been practicing holding my breath. I can probably swab the decks in the hallway pretty clean.
Okay.
And then come back up. I'll try. I can try cleaning it up and then come back up and see if it's safe to go down there again. I have some additional blooms as well. So if we need them, I've got 3 more blooms, and each one of them has, one of them has 2 petals, and the others are good. They're full.
I'm sorry, say that again.
He's got the Australian fire blooms that he can use if necessary.
Okay. If I'll check on you from every minute or so.
All right. I'm going to give this a shot then. I think I'm just going to throw a bucket over the side, like tie a bucket to a rope
Sure.
and try to just put it in the ocean and get a bucket of salt water.
Easy enough.
And grab a mop, I'm sure, is somewhere available on the ship.
Of course.
And then I am going to take a deep breath and then run down the stairs to where Covet fell
Sure.
and start to try to clean that up.
Okay. Cool. You swab the deck quickly. All right.
Excellent. And then I'll run back up when I'm done, and with the bucket inside. I mean, with the mop inside the bucket,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna pour it all
Over the side.
overboard. Yeah.
Cool.
And probably get another bucket of water to rinse out the mop.
Understood.
And then I'm gonna see if that works. I'm gonna go into the hallway and breathe.
Okay. You're fine.
Okay.
However,
I think that.
However, the camera will pan behind the ship as you stand successful in this hallway. The camera slides out the back of the ship, where there is a school of tuna who are now unconscious.
Probably a school of shark right behind them.
Yeah,
What I was afraid of.
but you are fine in the hallway.
All right. I am going to. I'm just going to repeat this and try to clean up. I don't know. I know Aowen said that they wanted to be the one to clean up their room. So, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want to step on any toes.
Aowen, would you be cleaning your room, or are you going to let Kiki do it?
I'd rather clean my room.
Okay. Wow. That's very adult. Just saying. I hate cleaning my room IRL. Just being perfectly honest, I hate doing it. I'm 46 years old. I hate cleaning my room. So, as you go in there, Aowen, you're able to pick up the powder that has spilled, and with the mop and bucket, you're able to clean up the mess. You're holding your breath while you do so. However, that envelope is still punctured just a little bit. There's a little hole in it.
I'll just pick up the envelopes and put them on the table for now.
Okay. Are you clogging the hole with anything? Are you covering it with anything?
Is there something I can cover it with?
I'm open to creative solutions. Would you like input from the rest of the party to try to help?
I suppose so.
Does anyone have any ideas as to what we could plug the little hole with?
Do we have another envelope?
Mending?
Oh, mending. Yeah. I didn't do that.
Mending.
Does someone have mending?
I might have mending.
Ceiling wax.
Okay. If you have mending, then yes. But let's check to see if you have mending.
I do.
You do? Okay. Yeah, you were able to repair the envelope. It closes magically. Cool.
Good job.
You are no longer exposed to the powder. Your room is safe. However, the ecological disaster that you've placed upon the ocean behind the ship is an issue for someone else.
And you can't eat tuna because you would fall unconscious. again.
Exactly. All right. Bless you twice, sir.
Thank you.
I've been dealing with that all week. All right. So, Awen, the envelopes are closed. You have an idea of what's in them. What would you like to do, Eowyn? Now that the danger has passed. Nothing?
I think I'll just leave the envelopes alone for now.
Gonna leave the envelopes alone for now. You do know that Twilight is upset. How would you handle that? You know that it's probably because he's viewing it as a situation that he was unable to protect others in. So he's probably taking it as a indiscretion where he's upset that he wasn't able to protect people. Is that correct? The endangerment of his wife. Even though Covet chose to mess with the stuff. He wouldn't understand that. It's regardless, correct, Twilight? Irrelevant. Irrelevant to the fact that she put herself in danger. Understood.
And for the record, Covet knew that going into it, so that's why she kind of kept him out of it as long as she could.
Understood. Cool. All right. So, Twilight, as you are sailing the ship, the emergency seems to have passed. Your adrenaline can calm down a little bit, and you're able to take a couple of breaths. If it's not in danger, the threat has been neutralized for the time being.
Has the threat been neutralized, or are they still open in their room?
Nope, they're closed. Eowyn has mended the envelope shut.
But is the door locked?
Eowyn, is the door locked?
It most likely is. I think it's best to avoid
Okay.
for a while.
So yes, Twilight, the door is locked as Eowyn is trying to avoid the situation.
But now that the door is locked, the threat's been neutralized.
Okay.
He will actually stew on the situation for a little bit. Here, he's been chastised, physically and mentally abused by said individual over the course of last several journeys, and then all of a sudden, this said individual has put not only the crew but his wife in danger.
Okay. Covet, can I get an insight check from you? You automatically succeed. You know that Twilight is currently stewing on something.
She sees him stewing on something.
Got one job on this ship.
She walks over to him and says, all right, love. You've had your fun mulling this over in your head. I know that you're upset about something, and it's most likely having to do with the situation that just happened earlier. Am I correct?
Well, ain't you a bright one this morning?
Ooh.
Oh, we're playing that game now.
Oh no.
Great. All right. Instead of being petty, in which we both know I will win, let's be nice. And let's talk this out. Like the rational adults that we are. So, use your words. and talk to me, please.
So, not only did you put yourself in danger, you then put the rest of us potentially in danger and then tried to hide it from me. How am I supposed to react to said situation?
I was first off trying to get people out of danger. There was no way to keep you from not steering the ship at the moment because Ramos had his shift. That was done. He was resting. He needed to sleep. You had to deal with the ship. I was trying to help by figuring out what this danger was because, frankly, I'm the only one that's an alchemist here. I need, I needed to figure out what this is to figure out what we're dealing with. But unfortunately, it's so potent, so powerful, I have no idea what it is. Now, I'm sorry that I did not bring you into it, but you had other jobs to deal with to make sure that we were safe.
Nothing about the tale of Bluebonnet Vern resonated about the potential dangers whatsoever.
Actually, I said, knowing what he has, we've got to make sure that whatever was spilled on the floor needed to be cleaned up, but we needed to know how to do it properly. And how can I do that if I don't know what it is?
Shouldn't have been in this situation to begin with.
Well, that may be true. However, it still was done, and I had to help our group as best as I could. You can't fault me that.
Well, Aowen loses all unarmed strike and fireball and burning hand privileges, period.
Okay, that's fair. Just know that, we still have to know what this powder is. I have it in the flask. I've got it hidden away, tucked away where it's not going to get messed up or anything. The rest of it,
Bring assassins now?
no. I have somebody who can actually help us with identifying it better than I can. I just need a moment to be able to call that person and say, hey, can I have a box so I can put this in so you can tell me what this is?
I don't like it.
That's fine. You're entitled to not like it. But there are things that we have to do to protect the group. And I don't know what Aowen has gotten himself all mixed up in, but if we have to do what we need to protect him as well, then that's what we're going to do. We made that vow. We made that promise. We're going to protect our friends and help them with their end goals, just like they're going to help us with ours. I'm just following through on a promise.
Be careful with those.
I am. But you got to trust me, too. And trust me, I had people there to make sure that I didn't get in too much trouble, okay? It's Lauren in particular. She seemed to be particularly immune to this stuff. So I am taking safeguards as best I can, okay? And I'm really not trying to put myself into too much danger. But you can't protect me from everything. And besides, this is a great way for Aowen to learn. We had to learn somewhere. We've definitely got a few years on him. So this is just a learning point.
As I said before, some things aren't worth the cost.
Understood. But they didn't know. So learning and learning as you go. Just take notes, keep going. And if that's what they're doing, if they've learned anything from it, then that's cool.
Preferably not to open up envelopes with suspicious powders from a legendary assassin.
I think they figured that out. I'm pretty sure they have. And if there's anything that they want open to see that's suspicious, then they know that maybe there's other ways now that they didn't know before. Safer ways.
I'll let you go test the unarmed strike on Aelin, because I don't think I'll hold back.
I don't think an unarmed strike is necessary, but I will pass.
I think
A
a
message
rapier
is
would
fine.
hurt too much.
I think I'll pass on a message. Does that work? I just need them to have a few moments time before it processes, but for them to process it. But when here in a bit, I'll go and talk to them. Okay, I'm certain they feel bad enough as it is.
We shall see.
I'm not putting myself in danger on purpose to spite you or anything. I promise. You
Not the
you
on
know that.
purpose that I'm worried about, even though that is worrying in and of itself.
I'll be more careful. I promise. You know that. And you're the only one that I will make promises like that to.
And I will
Okay.
hold you to that promise.
She looks at him and she's like, do you want to make a bargain on that?
You already gave me your word.
True. But do you want to shake on it? Oh well. With that, the deal has passed. And she gives him a kiss on the cheek and says, I will find Eowyn in a bit. I'm going to let them think on what happened first.
Okay. Cool. Mr. Shakik Al-Nazir, now that the danger has passed, what are you doing?
Going back to get some of the tuna? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That would be
Fresh
awesome.
tuna is good.
I'd love just feed the tuna to Twilight. That'd be great. That wouldn't piss him
amazing.
off at all.
Well, it's end of
Nope.
day, right? So I think Kiki's going to just, from the Kiki's nest, he's going to take a look on the horizon to see if he can see any problems on their way.
Sure.
And then I think if there's nothing else and it's still early enough, he is going to try to study with Covet a little bit.
Okay.
And do some teaching and some studying.
Awesome. What are we teaching?
We've been teaching Primordial.
Okay.
My version of Primordial, which is probably what Orin, I guess, and trying to learn Sylvan.
Understood. Can I get your intelligence check? And I need Covet's intelligence check. And then we are going to pan the camera down to follow Miss Lauren. All right. So, Kiki, you get a success as you were taught several special words.
I rolled an 18.
You also learned some special words, so that will be a success for you as well. As the two of you practice your languages with each other, The camera pans down to where Sloran Shunazeth stands before the door and knocks. Awen, you
Awen,
you
I
answer the
answer?
door?
Yeah, I'll answer it.
Okay. Awen opens the door. He stands there. Sloran?
Just came to ask if you are okay. That was a harrowing series of events.
I'll be fine.
Right? Do you know how all of this happened?
I was given some letters by Mr. Verm to deliver, but then when Ramos first brought up his past, it made me overthink. I thought it'd be fine if I could I saw some powder and letters, so I thought I could just poke a small hole if I get in the cap so they can bring it to identify it. No, knock everyone unconscious.
That was a good instinct. I think seeing the powder, knowing that there was something off, it was the right thing to do to try to understand it further. Now that you're aware of its potency, what do you intend to do with the letters?
I won't be delivering them. You can tell Ramos we're not going to the pit stops anymore. And I'll tell Mr. Verm I lost them on the way.
Lauren will nod. We may need to make those stops anywhere to resupply, but well, I support that decision. But I'm also asking, we all saw Twilight's reaction. And I wanted to be very clear that I do not blame you. That was a mistake. That I'm certain that you're determined not to allow it to happen again. That no, that I am here to support you.
I appreciate it, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
All right.
There's not much we can do besides just not deliver the letters and move on. I've already learned from my mistake.
Very well. If Mr. Verm does not believe that it's the letters, are you prepared for what may happen?
No, And I don't think anything could prepare me for it.
And if you wish, I will be at your side when the time comes.
Thank you, Isnorin.
Sleep well. Well, in a manner of speaking. Rest well.
Grandson.
I'll try.
Zora will give Eowyn a nod and head back to her quarters.
Okay. Cool. Eowyn, do you close the door and go back in?
Yeah.
As you go back in, considering it's Lauren's words, there's another knock on the door. Would you answer it?
Yeah, I'll answer it.
Standing outside the door is Covet.
Hey, I wanted to come and check on you. Are you okay?
Like I said to Isnorin, I'll be fine. You don't need to worry about me.
Too bad. It's
I
happening
suggest-
anyway.
I really suggest you worry about yourself since the powder is still unknown.
I have ways of figuring out what it is. Don't worry about that. But I want you to know I'm not mad at you. You did the right thing. Trying to bring it to me. It was a smart move. Maybe just next time we could open it together, you know?
I think it's best to keep you out of danger for now.
I am never completely out of danger. And unfortunately, Twilight doesn't realize that quite yet. So I can't be holed up in a room the entire time, as much as he'd like me to be, with him trying to protect me from everything. And I appreciate him trying to protect me from everything, but he can't. So it's okay. But you did the right thing. You really did. And no, I'm not mad at you at all for it.
I'm not sure if I can consider it the right thing if it went wrong.
Remember, you can't control other people's actions. You can only control yourself. You can only control your own emotions as well. So control what you can. And you controlled what you could. You had no clue what was there. So it's fine. As long as you learn something from it, then you're good.
I suppose you have a point.
It's going to be okay. Just know I'm not mad at you, and Twilight will get over it in time, but I know that you didn't mean any harm. And he'll see that too in time.
I'll understand him if it takes a while to see that.
We've been doing this for a long time, so he sometimes forgets where we once were too. So we had to learn somewhere. So just know I'm not mad at you. Not in the slightest. So you did the right thing. And as long as you keep doing the right thing, thinking you're, doing, as long as you keep taking those right steps and learning from what you've experienced, then that's all that matters. But you sure you're going to be okay?
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Okay. Well, if you're sure, I'll leave you to get some rest.
I appreciate you checking in, Kaved.
She smiles genuinely and says, "Of course. We're a family." And she, she says goodnight and steps out back into the hallway.
Okay. Now I just want to confirm and just clear the air. This is totally in character, correct, Twilight, as opposed to the upsetness?
Oh, absolutely in character.
All right. This is not personal. This is not player versus player. This is just in character stuff. Are you cool, Eowyn?
Absolutely.
Player wise, are you
Yeah,
okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. I just want to, whenever we have these conflicts in character, love them. As long as they're staying in
No.
character and not player side.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's just easier to play with set characters for me, so and also finds it sounds genuine.
That's called good acting. Thank you.
Amen.
Because the fact that I'm concerned means that you guys are acting through this very, very well. Thank you. We're going to continue. Cool.
Okay, I'll take my pony now. I'm happy.
I just like to check. Okay, it's my job to make sure everyone's having a good time. If it's players are fine, I'm fine. All right. So as Eowyn goes back and closes the door, are you comforted a little bit, Eowyn?
I suppose so.
Okay. Would you go to bed or would you stay up? How are you going to... What would you be doing next?
I think I'll see. Once
Okay.
everyone is asleep, I would like to go get some fresh air on deck at night.
Okay. Cool. Twilight's Call. Are you going to be sailing the ship at night or are you going to let Rolmos take over?
I will be sailing the ship until he decides to come up to relieve me at the helm.
Okay. He will come up around the same time that Eowyn comes up on deck.
He was going to take a little bit longer than that.
You've
This
been
farm
sailing
really
for
wasn't
8
down
hours.
below that long.
The sun is going down. He figures it's time for you to get a little bit of time off and potentially take care of things.
Have you taken care of all the things that you need to take care of?
He smiles. I have.
You need some performance enhancements because you weren't down there very long.
No. Whatever are you speaking about?
I'm just saying, if you need to go a little longer, yeah, I understand.
all of the studies and charts are taken care of. I can take over.
Get yourself.
Are you implying something?
I'm just saying that there are other things and other responsibilities that a newly married man must take care of beyond the charts and things.
Oh, no, I have mapped the mountains and delved into the canyons. Things are we are well mapped and things are going well. The vast tracts of the sea are known to me and are ours to explore.
Twilight will think he's being literal with absolutely zero innuendos in that whatsoever.
Understood. Miss Lauren, are you still a happy wife?
Miss Lauren is doing pretty well right now.
Okay. We did not cover what was going on in the quarters, but I assume that if there was any interest at any time, we could have faded to black. We don't have to engage every single encounter. Would that be a good read, Miss Lauren?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a little weird. He's like, yeah.
It's very light.
He sounds a little disappointed.
Oh, okay.
No, it's more like just this time. Miss Lauren probably would have just been venting about the situation and like just talked it out with Ramos.
Okay. We can absolutely do that. I'd love to actually hear what she would have said. So we're going to go ahead and backtrack just a little bit here, if you guys are cool with this. Because this is something that we need to actually cover. Because it's going to
Sure.
go into their relationship. So, as you come back from talking to Aowen, Rolmos is getting dressed to take over the helm. You come in. How do you act?
Like as soon as I close the door behind me, I just let out a deep, deep exhale.
He looks over.
Okay.
Is everything all right?
No, some of it will be in time, but the short version of it is we may no longer need to stop for delivering the letters.
Oh? Has something happened?
Yes. I
May I-
believe you were correct about Mr. Burns' identity.
Indeed. Well, and now we are not delivering the letters for a legendary assassin.
That is the indication that Eowyn provided.
I believe that would be concerning. What is to be done?
Oh. The story is going to be that the letters were lost in transit. It will be a while before we are in Nausea again. Less time until he is made aware that his letters did not reach their destination.
Do we know the contents of the letters?
I did not ask, and I was not planning to.
Interesting. He sits down and puts his arms on his knees.
Oh,
Go ahead.
there was a powder.
A
I
powder.
initially, yes. I was initially, when you asked, I was initially considering the contents of the actual letters, but the powder, I suppose, is far more relevant. It appeared to be something rather potent that rendered most everyone who breathed it unconscious.
Is most disturbing.
Interestingly, not unconscious to the point of dying. Certainly, if there were no one to check in on the victim, that could certainly be the end result nonetheless.
This was within the envelopes.
Yes.
How was it extracted? Did someone
I
open
believe
a letter from
it-
a master assassin?
Eowyn grew suspicious and exercised the best caution that he was able to.
Understood. Wife, I trust your judgment. Otherwise, I would not have married you. However, I must say that I have misgivings about crossing or lying to this individual. The House of Flowers is not to
That
be
is
meddled with.
understandable. They're dangerous.
I have a contact within the House of Flowers. Before we make any decisions, would you allow me to entreat my contact regarding this type of behavior?
That depends. What do you expect to be able to learn from this contact?
Frankly, whether our course of action of canceling the letters is wise or whether we should deliver them in turn. Of course, I suppose the decision rests with Eowyn, of course. But I am simply looking out for your friends and someone who I trust with your life. I wish for the best for him, and lying to the House of Flowers could prove lethal.
You're right that it is Eowyn's decision. However, consequences of doing the right thing, even if they are dangerous.
Do you believe the right thing is to not deliver these?
Without particular information to the contrary, yes.
Not that I oppose, but I'm curious as to why. Does not your party trust this Mr. Verb? Is it the powder within the envelopes that has changed the topic? Or the suspicion after the revelation that he is well known?
I believe it is the deception. Asking Awen to deliver these letters without telling him the purpose, potentially putting him at risk were he to be discovered. If we did trust Mr. Verne prior to this, how could we now?
Strange.
Not to mention that assassination, again, without great cause in its favor, is by default wrong.
But as simply the messenger of a letter, is it our place to judge the contents? Do we blame the messengers for letters that we receive from far beyond? If we were to get bad news from the Protectorate that they had been attacked, would we attack the messenger? No. We would reward him with compensation for delivering us the news, ill or good. I agree that the
You were
powder
given
is
an
concerning.
order. You were given an order by a superior that you knew to be unlawful and wrong. Would you obey it?
No. However, I'm uncertain if that is the case in this situation. Do we know that this powder is wrong? Do we know that the letters are intended for ill?
I believe the burden of proof is squarely on Mr. Verne to prove otherwise. But as we both have agreed, it is ultimately Eowyn's decision.
Very well. I will trust your wisdom, and I will not reach out to my contact. You're most wise, wife. I am very fortunate to have married you, Islara.
Now you, this. If you want to present that offer to Eowyn, and Eowyn agrees, I would not stand in the way.
I may do so. Thank you for speaking with me.
And thank you for talking me through this.
I would talk to you whenever. Simply to see your lips move is a delight to me. The only thing that I wish to stop you from speaking is with a kiss.
Vaughn will walk toward him, and I think that's where we fade to black.
That's where we fade to black. Awesome. As Romulus gets dressed once again to come up on deck, he takes over for Twilight's Call. As Eowyn comes up on deck as well to get some fresh air.
Twilight will hand the helm over to Romos and will approach Eowyn. Eowyn, I got a question for you.
What is it?
Why don't people trust dust? Is it because it's always shady and has a clouded past?
Sorry, trust what?
So why don't people trust dust? Is it
Dust.
because they're always shady and has a clouded past?
I'm not sure.
You realize he's trying to lighten the mood and joke with you.
Dust cloud, dust, powder.
As he attempts to explain the joke, it gets less and less funny.
Didn't really start out that high either.
No, it didn't. It's about to reach the other end where the explanation starts to get funny itself.
You just laugh at the absurdity at that point.
I understand that my story, legend, and tall tale about the infamous Blue Bonnet assassin legendary Vern might have raised some questions that resulted in your curiosity. I just ask that in the future, when you have some of these misgivings, curiosities, or other type of suspicions, that we do like we've done with any other type of situation, puzzle, trial, tribulation, or adversity, that we do so as a group. What we have found throughout our sailing the unknown waters, going to various ports and islands, going from the Dragon's Horn and through the wastelands of Australia, that any time that any one of us has done something unilaterally, it's usually come up to the detriment of the party. If we are able to do anything, it is that we succeed together as a collective and not as an individual. If there is any lesson to be had from this particular situation, I think it is that. And if you can give me your word as a man that this is something that you will take to heart, I think we can let bygones be bygones.
I'll take into consideration next time to do it with someone else, say it by myself.
That being said, I also ask that you consider the ramifications, second and third order effects of hasty decisions. You heard the tale of the Blue Bonnet legendary assassin Vern. Would that be somebody that you would want to, I don't know, aggravate? Typically, somebody of that stature doesn't really keep loose ends. On that, I bid you adieu.
I'm not sure what to do. I know he's someone I shouldn't try and lie to, but since I don't see any other choice, I think it's best.
What I'm saying is this. Any assassin of that caliber. And I think we've gone or moved beyond suspicion to potential confirmation, given what just happened on this ship. Usually has a primary way of doing things, a secondary way of doing things, and then a backup or an emergency to ensure a higher chance of success. Are you the only letter that's being delivered? Probably not. Is this a potential test? Maybe. There seems to be quite a few of those going around. Is the organization that Mr. Vern represents, do they keep grudges? That's something that you're going to have to answer yourself. All I'm saying is be careful. Weigh the situation and then make a deliberate decision.
I'll keep that in mind.
Have a good night. And Covet and Twilight will go downstairs to Covet.
Okay. As Twilight comes into the cabin, Covet, what would be your response as he walks in?
First, she'd actually look at his body language and see how he is. Because words can say one thing, but body language can say something totally different. So she'll look at that first.
Twilight, what is your body language?
You will ask Covet, why don't people trust us? It's because it's always shady and has a clouded past.
My love, if that was a joke, that was not one of your best ones. Because we are Fae. So it's too close to the truth.
Maybe I'll have to dig back into the bag and dust out some of the oldies but goodies.
Oh boy. So based on this conversation here, did you by chance speak to Aowen?
Yeah, I walked over, brushed my shoulders off, asked the same joke, and then proceeded to have a conversation.
Well, they did what they thought was right at the time. Y'all, are you okay? Live and learn? Water under the bridge?
I explained that there's a higher chance of success doing things as a collective as opposed to making rash decisions individually.
It is true.
I also cautioned that I am sure these weren't the only means of accomplishing whatever it is that this legendary assassin wanted to accomplish. And it's potentially a test, maybe either by Vern himself or by the House of Flowers, either of which can be concerning.
You are not wrong.
Then I also caution to not make any rash decisions.
Agreed. I would like to send this powder to Leslie, if at all possible. Maybe she could help us identify it.
Tell them that she needs to take a big whiff of it when she opens the bottle.
No! Not going to tell her to do that. I would like for her to remain.
It's a test for Leslie.
Yeah, I don't want to piss off my patron. Yeah, not so much.
So it smells like blue bonnets.
No, not gonna do that. But I will send this to her and see if she can help us. Be very hush hush about it kind of situation.
Evan, what is Leslie's relationship with the House of Flowers?
I don't know, but I plan to find out if she has one.
Moves and counter moves. What a confusing place this particular plane is.
It's no different from any court. I just feel a little behind the curve. Everybody knows the end state but me. And I don't like that. So let me try to get on the same level.
Here, you got a little white stuff there at your nose.
Ha 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 ha, funny.
Can we not dance in the powder next time?
That's the goal. Let me try to get a message to Leslie and see what I can find out.
I'll be here waiting.
So with that, she steps out of the room and tries to find a more private place.
More private than your quarters? Understood.
Well, it's a place where
pretty
she
easy.
knows that she could be alone.
Of course.
Her contract.
Of course. So you have a couple of places you could go. One is the privy. At this time of night, the galley would likely be empty as well.
I was thinking the bilge of the boat.
The bilge would also be available, but that is even less pleasant than the privy.
Particularly the rats.
Okay, so she tries the galley, but she makes sure that she is the only one in there.
Okay. While you head there, I have to check in with the rest of the party. Ayla, as you had a wonderful day of collecting vitamin D, would you be in bed at this point?
Well, I was going to say, as you know, when you collect a lot of vitamin D, you get very tired.
Yes.
So I am out.
Understood.
Zonked, no books, nothing. Gone.
All right. Now, did you overdo it? I'm going to allow you to determine this on your own. Did you over sunbathe?
Almost.
Almost.
Not quite. Almost.
So just before.
Yeah, few little touchy areas, but probably turn brown by morning.
All right, so that very nice warm feeling all through the night where you don't really want the blankets on, but sheets are fine. Gotcha. We know exactly where we're at with this. Got it.
Noise.
Understood. Kiki, Mr. El Nazir.
Yes.
What are you doing at this time of night?
I
Or
think
sorry,
Kiki's probably
who are you doing at this time of night?
And we
You know, I think there's a rotation. I think we probably worked out like with chores where you have like the calendar.
Sure.
But I think probably hanging out in the Kiki's nest with let's see.
One or
Let's say
more?
it's Arlen. Yeah, maybe Arlen.
Okay.
While the others are, doing whatever they do when they're not with me.
Sleep.
And yeah.
Are they
And also that. I'm still practicing, holding my breath, getting pretty good at it.
Indeed, I bet.
And I think from here.
Thanks, Kiki. We didn't need that one. Soon
I
you're going
think
to
that's
become
it. I don't
proficient
think I'm gonna
in
be doing
holding your breath.
exactly. I think I'm going to try to get some rest because I still have two levels of exhaustion. So I'm going to tell Alan that we can only play for a little while and then I've got to go to sleep.
She
One
will
round.
appreciate that. Cool. All right, so you go to sleep. Eowyn, after having come on deck and been talked to by Twilight's Call, you're at the side of the deck. The rail is reassuringly firm. The ship is very well made, and with the weather being as calm as it is, it's quiet out. What would you be doing, Eowyn?
Is there maybe a crate nearby?
Yeah?
I think we'll just sit in that and lean his arms in the railings and watch the ocean.
Understood. Cool. As you're watching the ocean tonight, Eowyn, can I get a perception check?
I keep reaching for my mouse and I realize it's not there.
I have done that so many times when using a laptop. With a 21, Eowyn, far off in the distance, off the side of the ship, you see a glimmer of green light. It's at the horizon, very, very far away. It appears to be a ship. The light is casting silhouettes of the sails. They are black and ominous. After a few moments, the ship will disappear. You won't see it again. Not tonight, anyway.
It's the Flying Dutchman.
Now, we pan the camera down below decks to where our friend Coven von Sin has entered the galley, where the dried meats hang from the rafters, the barrels of salted fish, the fruits and vegetables in their baskets. Rolmos has appointed the ship very well, and you can tell that he restocked when you guys were in Nausea. He must have talked to the dock hands and made sure that they had the supplies. It's pretty respectful that he's taking care of all these things without having to be prompted.
It looks like Ramos might have restocked everything while we were in Nausea.
Got one job on this ship.
She goes and makes sure that there's nobody else there, just her.
You look around,
Um,
it's not a massive place. You can easily see no one else is here.
Perfect. And so she goes to make contact with her patron.
Excellent. So as you reach out for Leslie, you will hear, "Hello, how can I help you? It's strange
Hi,
for you to reach out to me this time of day."
yes, I wouldn't reach out at this time of day unless it was fairly important.
Are you okay? Are you well?
I am, thanks to Asmarin. Um, First off, I have a question. Do you know anything about a Mr. Verm?
Of course.
Do you have a good rapport with him?
In so much as one can, I suppose. Why? I
Are
am
the
not in constant contact with him, but I have visited his shop from time to time.
Are you aware of who he is?
I have my suspicions.
I believe that they are correct. And she raises an eyebrow, saying without saying.
So you believe him to actually be the infamous bluebonnet Verm from the House of Flowers?
Yes.
Now, isn't that interesting? But you're at sea. What does this have to do with something important? And to wake me up after such a hard day. I've had to train a new friend of ours.
Well, that's interesting. Do I have a new sibling?
Yes.
Lovely.
And
It's always nice to have a new person in the family.
oh, be cautious referring to him as a person. He might think himself to be people.
Oh, who is this?
A yellow dragonborn by the name of Tyronius Evilite, the son of two
Oh.
merchants.
Oh, he's the one that had the charred s'mores smell as he took the grimoire out the door of the consortium.
Indeed.
Yes. Well, that's interesting. Whatever you're putting him through, I'm certain he deserves it.
He'll learn.
That being said,
In time.
I'm certain he will. That being said, she pulls out the vial.
By the way, just because I think you'll find it humorous, he failed the pin test.
I do find it a little funny, but at the same time, I understand because that power is addictive.
Yes. So, you have a vial. Here's my
yes,
curiosity.
this was in a letter, and due to concerns, Eowyn decided to investigate this letter. Don't know what's inside of it still, except for this powder
Oh dear.
that is in this vial.
Well,
However,
isn't Eowyn becoming such an assertive and insightful individual? I assume that this letter is from Mr. Verm, as you haven't stated that, but have brought it up.
potentially, he asked Eowyn to deliver 2 letters.
And
Oh,
have they
this-
been delivered?
Not yet. I don't think he will deliver them.
Dear.
That being said, this powder, when it came out of the envelope, proceeded to knock all of us out.
Oh. Well.
Everyone but is Lauren, of course. Because she's super powerful and super strong and wow. She's just wow. But I tried to identify it. I used my history. I used my, my research. I've used, my alchemy. I can't figure out what this thing is. And I've never seen this powder before. But as soon as it came into my presence and I breathed, I was unconscious on the floor, and only the fire bloom petal would bring me back. So I'm not dead. I'm just unconscious. Do you think you could figure out what we're dealing with here?
I know exactly what you're dealing with. My former mate is a proponent of such methods. this would be
Oh.
referred to as powerful green sleeping dust. It is produced in Ivrix, but is ancient in origin. If there is fresh powder, then the House of Flowers has learned to do new things. We'll have to be aware of this. But yes, these were originally created by the Sorrecchio family of Fu Nakar, an ancient city within the Kwangmuku district of Ivrix.
GM, I need all
I
that
was going to
spelling.
say, we're going to need that in the
Horrifying.
All
I'm
right.
just sitting nodding, going, and that's how we spell it. Yep, sure.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and she will just display the whole thing for you here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you for displaying that, because there is no way in the world I would have come up with any of that spelling.
That's
Not
intentional.
even. Wow. Wow.
And for the record, Steve has seen this stuff before.
Yes, I remember. I remembered when we saw it.
Yeah.
I obviously couldn't talk about it, but yeah, I knew what it was.
This is a material that I have brought in a couple times, very rarely, because it is so powerful and such a legendary thing. But it's time based off of other campaigns and what they've done for this to slide into this campaign, at least temporarily. Because you guys are all interconnected, and I have to get this stuff from one point to another. And, well, you guys have to be available.
Wow. This is super powerful. Wow. The fact that your former mate?
Yes, you would refer to him as the agent.
Ah, gotcha.
He is the secretive tiefling within the consortium.
And he was the one that developed this, correct?
Oh no. Simply
No?
a fan of the use of it. He believes it to
Oh.
be most discreet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so is there a way to counteract this other than just the fire bloom petal?
From what I understand, certain high-level magics are able to nullify the effects, greater restorations, and wishes. But primarily, it is a permanent effect that eventually results in the starvation of the victim.
Oh, because of course you're past them.
I am concerned that those that were intended for these letters would have unfortunately had that same fate.
Do they deserve it?
I don't know.
Well,
That's the thing.
perhaps
don't want-
we should deliver the letters and allow the House of Flowers to deal with their own business. Do you
I
have
definitely do not.
hesitations?
The choice is Aowen's, and Aowen says that they do not want to deliver the letters because it is wrong because of this powder. And I, of course, understand that. But Um, I, on the other hand, am afraid of making the House of Flowers and in turn, Mr. Vern, very angry. And I definitely don't want them coming after us.
Indeed. I would prefer not to be involved in any opposition to the House of Flowers. Is there a reason why Eowyn would betray Mr. Verb? Or is it the morality of knowing such a substance is being delivered?
I believe it's the morality that a substance like this is being delivered. I know that they only knew of an address to send these to, but the fact that the powder is in the letters potentially, that these people, the recipients of these letters would end up being knocked unconscious and left for dead.
I have a query for you, Covet. If I, at some point in the future, asked you to kill someone who was evil, would you?
It depends on the person.
Someone who offended the consortium and who threatened your husband and the rest of your party. Would you kill them?
If they are a potential threat, yes. I would, depending on what happens. There is always circumstances.
Do you believe that if Mr. Verm had asked Eowyn to simply slay someone who he believed to be an enemy of the parties, or of the consortium, or of Thausha as a whole, perhaps simply of Mr. Verm, do you believe that Eowyn would kill for Mr. Verm?
Not without righteous cause. Their heart's too good for it.
Then perhaps, before you dispose of the letters, you should determine if there is, or is not, a, quote, righteous cause.
Opening those letters would be very, very dangerous because the powder's in those letters. And
Take precautions. Wet them.
would mending make them just as new? Powder included?
If you wet the letters, the powder will be caused to be inert unless it is directly consumed or ingested. Powder is only most effective when dry. It is possible to dry the powder once again, but be cautious, obviously. The way that I would handle opening the letter would be to pierce an envelope, with the tip of the envelope being over a saucer of water, allowing the powder to enter the bowl. Once the powder is extracted from the envelope, open it, read the envelope's letter, and then determine how to proceed. Once you have determined how to proceed, should you still have enough time, allow the contents of the bowl to evaporate, drying the powder in the sun, place it back into the envelope in its caked form, and then crumble it well from within the envelope once it is sealed.
Understood. I will.
Of course, you'll have to convince Eowyn to do this. I know that you can be very convincing, Coven von Sin. After all, you landed that catch of a husband.
She smiles and she says, I see what you're doing there, but I'll see what I can do.
What am I doing? Complimenting the great Twilight's call, and you in turn. Perhaps.
You know, flattery gets you everywhere.
It works
So-
well. Remember that as a lesson for when you deal with the people you're going to be visiting soon.
Understood.
Take care, Covet. And
You too.
have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm sure it will be enlightening.
Get some rest, Leslie. Thank you.
I will. It's exhausting teaching new students, especially ones who are so obstinate.
Well, if anyone can handle him, you can.
Oh dear, no. But his friend Matilda seems to be quite capable of handling him.
Oh, that's for sure. She's mega strong.
Indeed.
She will definitely, I think she'll be fine.
Good night.
Good night. And with that, she ends the connection.
Okay.
She then goes up to her room and reluctantly
Does she open the door?
tells what
She opens the door to go to her room.
to Twilight's in my
Twilight,
room.
what state did she find you in?
She gets snatched out the doorway.
Covet, you are pulled bodily into your room.
And the door shuts.
That's the only way you're getting to eat, because right now, if you make me eat, I am going to cry.
I don't understand, but we'll go with this is an internal conversation between the two of you, whatever eeping means.
I will explain that later. It's not bad. It is not
I
rated
think I
R.
understand.
It's nothing. It's not bad. It's not rated R. It's a kind of laugh.
I understood.
So far.
All right. So, Twilight, as she eeps into the room, you have your wife. What do you do with it?
That's not for public conversation.
We fade to black. Understood. After a while, the lights come back up to find the two of you in various states, I assume. Does the conversation begin, Covet?
Yeah, because frankly, this is probably the only time she's going to get a chance to talk to him about it, where he is in a relaxed, decent mood.
Okay. Receptive?
Yep.
All right. Twilight, you are now... Are you now relaxed and receptive?
He's relaxed. We'll decide about receptive.
Okay. Covet, it's at this point that you realize you are good at this. Leslie was right.
So,
I'm sorry to frustrate you, but it is fun.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally fair, and it totally goes along with what COVID would do, frankly.
Understood.
So
You can't see the
very
webcam,
good.
but his smile right now is amazing.
Oh, I know it probably is.
It goes along with what every wife knows.
Yes.
So they're in various states, probably still in the bed. So she rolls over and says, "So I talked to Leslie and got some pretty important information about what that nasty dust is, and that is staying sealed."
What dust?
Uh, Aowen's dust from the letters.
Oh, that dust. Sorry. We're on that conversation now.
Yes, yes, we are. And
He's
she kisses
very
him on the cheek.
relaxed.
Kisses him on the cheek again. So it seems that our Mr. Verm is up to nefarious deeds. And I think that we need to know what's in those letters. And I know how to open them safely.
While it raises an eyebrow at Covet.
It could potentially help us protect the consortium and allies, potentially Nausha. We could open it safely, deal with the figure out what the letter says, and return it back to normal, to its original state, with the powder inside, and us be okay. But we need to find out what's in those letters. I don't know whether Aeon will let us, unless it's to prove that Mr. Verm is who he says he is, and we need to protect people from the House of Flowers or those that are going to hurt Nausha or the consortium or us in any way.
You're gonna have a hard time convincing Aowen.
I know. But I think Aowen would rather know one way or another than this limbo that they're in.
How do we, you and I, feel about the House of Flowers?
Personally, I am terrified of not delivering these letters. If we don't deliver these letters, the House of Flowers could come after us. And
or Aowen?
Aowen, and in turn us, because we're with Aowen. And the thing that I found is that every person that I have spoken with, and Leslie is definitely not one to mince words in saying we don't want to be on the bad side of the House of Flowers.
Then why worry about what's even in the letters and just let them be delivered like they're supposed to?
Because Aowen will not do it with that powder in there. And if the powder is not in there, it won't do what it's supposed to. And
You didn't
then
hear me. I said, then why not just make sure that the letters get delivered? I didn't say Aowen. I said the letters.
not get delivered. I just want to make sure I'm hearing that right. Not get
No,
delivered.
that if Leslie has already stated not to piss off the House of Flowers, then that means the letters need to be delivered. What's in them is completely irrelevant. If it's somebody's time, it's somebody's time. You and I both adhere to that particular philosophy. Whether or not Aowen is the messenger is absolutely irrelevant. Does that mean that you or I make that delivery? Potentially.
Yes, but I don't want to be the one that messes with that relationship. That is not our call. That is Aowen's. Aowen has known Mr. Verm, from what I can tell, for years. So this is
And yet-
Rox's world.
And yet, Mr. Vern did not give any indication as to the purpose of those letters.
With the powder in there, morally, he will not deliver it. Not unless there's a reason why. And right now, obviously, your trust in Mr. Verm is shaken. Those letters probably need to be delivered, but I can't make that choice. That's Aowen's. So,
And if we remove that choice from Aowen,
not right. We need to do this the right way.
then it sounds like you get your work cut out for you. Remember, you promised me you weren't going to endanger yourself.
And this, I said I'd be more careful. And I'm being more careful by bringing it to you first. So, I guess we have to I guess I have to figure out how to talk to Aowen.
That doesn't mean opening up those letters.
I can do it safely. Leslie told me how.
But we don't need to open up those letters.
Aowen will need to open up those letters.
Are you sure about that? Right
95%.
now, the only thing that they need to do is rationalize their relationship with Mr. Vern and what they've been entrusted with. If they can find solace and or strength in that particular foundation, what the contents are completely irrelevant.
You, my love, are thinking like a fae, which is what we are. But he's not fae. Humans have a lot more heart.
Be careful.
Of course. I'm going to try to keep that heart as whole as possible, but there's no delicacy in this situation.
What does food have to do with it?
Oh, love. I'll speak to Aowen in the morning.
And good night.
All right.
And pass out.
As you guys fall unconscious, we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of fun here. Eowyn, you're currently looking off the side of the ship as you are sailing along, right? Are you taking your long rest trancing? Awesome. So I'm going to roll a lovely 1d6. Kiki. At the top of the Kiki's nest, you begin to dream. Cozy, warm. You have your friend with you here. After all, Afterglow is wonderful. As you dream that you wake up. You're not awake. It's obvious you're not awake. You couldn't be. Especially not since the shadows are crawling towards the ship. Bodily crawling up and down the waves as they bob up and down. The individual shadows looking like humanoids crawling towards the ship. They scramble to the side. You can hear the nails on the wood as they claw aboard. No one is on deck. You look around for your friend. She's not there. The shadows flow down into the cargo hold through the hatches. They lift them and crawl within. The invasion of these shadows. You want to shout out and scream. You want to warn your friends that they're in danger. But as you try, your voice does not carry much further than just a gentle squawk. At the sound, several of the shadows turn to face upwards and begin climbing the rigging to find you. As you attempt to take off, a rope tangles in your wings and you are dangling, helpless, above the ship. The shadows climb and crawl. As they approach, you feel their cold fingers against your skin. The feathers are wet and damp. You feel a hand clutch your face, and then you wake up as your friend is currently wiping away the rain that has started in the early morning. Good morning, and welcome to the rainy day. What would you guys like to do this morning? All of you have gotten a long rest. However, it is raining.
Colin, I had the weirdest dream.
Oh? I dreamt of you and all sorts of wonderful things. Especially when you're dry. But this rain is miserable. I'm so wet.
You were wet last night, too. Oh, that's weird.
Oh, dear. Well, I've got to get up. A pleasure again, as always. And she runs her finger down the peak of your beak to the tip, where she just clicks it with the end of her fingernail.
Always a pleasure, Alan. Don't work too hard.
Oh, I will. But I know that if I need a massage, you'll be there for me.
I'll be there. You know me.
She will climb up out of the rigging, and as she does so, you can't help but admire beauty. You know, athletic woman climbing up out of the Kiki's nest and down the rigging. Yeah.
Alan, before you go, did you time me last night? Did I make it to 5 minutes?
She smiles 10.
Oh my God. I guess I lost myself in my work.
Yeah, and to be clear, to talk to her after she got out of the Kiki's nest, you have to look over the side and you get a full view of her ample bosom from above.
Thank you for the ample view of your bosom.
Got one job on this ship. She smiles, a winning smile at you, and climbs down the rigging to work on the sails as she is directed by Rolmos.
I will sit back. I'm gonna sort of think back on the dream that I had and think about is there anything about the shadows that was a memory? Like, did that trigger any memories for me?
I don't believe it would.
No.
No,
Okay,
it would be
so then
similar.
I'm not sure where that came
similar in feeling to the encounter in Edland Point, but that would be it. Not much. No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, I'm not going to think too much on it. It was just a dream, you know, a little
Yeah.
nightmare. Yeah, and I'll start my day.
Cool. Awesome. Ayla, you wake up to rain on wood. The sea sounds either make you want to go to the privy or crawl back into bed.
Looks like a good day to just stay in my bunk and read.
Okay. What are you reading?
Uh, I'm Ramsey, and then I'm in the process of writing one too, so a little bit of
Okay.
both.
You're reading a romance novel. Did you get this novel from one of Miss Lauren's bookshelves?
No, the book I'm reading is a cookbook.
Oh, the cookbook. Understood.
Roden Ramsey.
Roden
and the
Ramsey,
Taste
that's right.
Of, yeah, and the taste of Savoy.
Understood. Your taste, pun intended, in literature is always intriguing. Cool.
I try to read different things, but this was just fascinating because it uses so many different. I
Understood. So, Eowyn, this morning it is raining. It started raining about 5 o'clock this morning. Would you be up on deck getting soaked, or would you go down below?
I think at this point he would just have thrown his hood over from his cloak and continued sitting.
Okay, understood. Your cloak protects you from the vast majority of the rain. However, some of the water will get on your face and run down your cheeks. When you can't cry, perhaps nature will do it for you. We go to Islaren. Islaren, Shonazath, you awake alone in bed.
Gonna get up, breakfast, and then get out onto the deck.
As the camera pans
that it's
around,
raining.
one sec. As the camera pans around Islaren getting up out of bed by herself, we're just going to catch knees down, and we're going to catch shoulders up. That's it.
Gotta keep it PG, Disney Brothers.
Absolutely. We might go mid-thigh, but that's about as high as we're going.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get out onto the deck and just kind of make sure that we're on the right heading, help out with anything that needs to be helped out on.
There is something that needs to be helped out on, and you know instinctually what that is. He's standing
Anything that needs to be
there,
helped on
drenched, his
to
hair
get the ship going.
slicked down. He smiles at you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, would you mind handling the rigging over there? The crewmen are a little bit slow today.
Of course.
He's pointed at a series of ropes that will necessitate you bending over.
Sauron will kneel down to handle that. Completely oblivious to what he's going for.
Exactly. He shrugs and still enjoys watching you work. All right. As you help out with the ship, Rolmos is going to continue sailing, and then we will pan down to the last two people on the ship. As the lights come up this morning, and you guys are getting ready for the day, what would Twilight and Covet be doing on this rainy day? Miss Von Sin?
After she has checked, gotten dressed and checked her pack and made sure that the iron flask is still okay with absinthe in it, and she says her good mornings and again apologizes
You
for
will
absinthe
feel a bump inside the flask.
and says, I know, I'm so sorry. I have to put you in there. I promise I'm going to let you out, but it's only when I can help you be you and only you again.
You will feel a slight vibration as the flask appears to be purring.
Just give me time. And she puts the flask away. And she looks at Twilight and says, good morning, love. I think I have to go talk to Aowen.
I understand, but from what I hear from outside, you're the only thing that's going to be the brightest today.
She walks over and gives him a kiss on the cheek and says, I'll make sure to pull up my hood on the cloak. And she follows through that promise and lifts the hood of her cloak.
Twilight, she looks so mysterious with the hood up. Can you resist?
We'll make a attempt to grab her, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Please roll your athletics check with disadvantage as you're still in bed. Covet, can I get an athletics check? Or acrobatics, whichever's higher. Gotta beat a 5. As apparently Twilight is tangled in the sheets.
I rolled a 12, so we good.
You walk away from him in spite of his best efforts at clutching at air. You're able to...
She blows him a kiss as she walks out the door.
Oh, Twilight. She blows you a kiss from beneath her hooded figure. So mysterious. It's like the first time you saw her in a Shellian, right?
Right.
Right. Covet, you go up on deck. It is raining. Your cloak protects you for the most part, but your bangs are going to droop wetly against your face.
She brushes them back and looks for Aowen.
You see the hooded and cloaked figure off to the side. That can only be the melancholy Aowen. After all, Islarin is over there with her glistening wet hair, turquoise in the dim light. Rolmos is also slick and wet this morning.
Well, don't they look like the perfect couple?
They look like a water park commercial.
Pretty much. And she walks over to Aowen and says, good morning.
Aowen?
I think they had 12 minutes left.
Oh, have to go in 12 minutes. Okay.
I was hoping to catch them before time, but...
Yeah. Aowen, are you still here?
I'm still here.
Okay. Covet has approached you on the deck. We're going to try to get this nailed out here in the next 12 minutes.
I promise I'll be quick.
Yep. No, it's just my brother being loud.
All right. So, Covet?
So, how are you feeling about Mr. Verm and everything that's gone down?
I don't know how to feel.
How long have you known Mr. Verm? A while, right?
He was one of the first people I talked to.
That's something special. Something you rely on in the hardest times, I know. I'm certain this is kind of shaking your faith a bit, huh? I found out what that powder was. Leslie told me. It's a powerful green sleeping dust. Only really, really powerful spells can break it. Like Greater Restoration or a wish or something like that. Ultimately, whomever opens it gets the powder and is rendered unconscious until dead. Do you know why Mr. Verm would send anything like this?
I'm not sure.
He didn't say anything to you? Just here deliver these?
He said it was just sending some book recommendations to the other librarians.
The House of Flowers is not ready to be on the wrong side of. That being said, I've been given instructions on how to open those letters if you would like to do so and see what it was for. I mean, who knows? Maybe Mr. Verm was trying to protect Nausha. Maybe the consortium. You. Us. Would you like to see what's in those letters? Because I can open them. I just need the word. Even if it's just to find out what it is.
You know how to do it safely.
I do.
And I suppose it's not a bad idea.
Okay. So, with your help, with you being there, and of course, people being out in the hallway, able to come revive us, drag us out of the room, revive us if things go awry. I can open them for you and we'll figure it out. But we'll do it together this time. Does that work for you?
It does.
So let's find out what's in those letters. Let's go.
Now, I know that Awen has to go here in a moment. Do we want to continue this and explore this, or do we want to do it next week? Because we can continue the session up to you guys. I know we're still short on the 3-hour thing. Just want to make sure that we're keeping everything involved.
I'm leaving that up to Aowen.
Her decision's kind of integral in what we do. Our first stop.
Okay? So what we'll do is we'll cover that part here in a moment. Mr. Shakik El-Nasser, as you come down and go looking for breakfast, your crewmates are currently involved in tying some knots. And they look over at you and wave, and then go back to their business. That was a little weird. You look around, you see Covet conversing with Eowyn, both hooded and cloaked, like shadows against the sea. You don't see Twilight, wherever he is, being mysterious. But off in the distance, you see the peaks of several fins rising from the waves, headed in your direction. Above them, there's a humanoid form. And above him, in the sky, an enormous black trail seems to be winding its way across the sky. Can I get a perception check?
Yeah, does this look like what I saw in my dream?
No, this appears to be different. With a 9, unfortunately, you're unable to make out the details of whatever that is up in the sky. It does appear to be an enormously long S-curve that now extends from the horizon to near the ship.
And no one else sees this?
Well, you're below decks, so no, you don't see it.
Right. I know I don't. But
Rolmos
Run to
and Islarin
Rolmos.
are working on driving the ship. Covet and
Yeah, I'm gonna run.
you're gonna run
I'm
over.
gonna run up to them and tell them and be like, "Hey, I can't really make this out. I just want to make sure I'm really seeing this because I had sort of a weird dream last night. I don't know. I don't really want it. It's not really that important. But anyway, there seems to be some fins, and then there's somebody floating above them. Do you guys see that, or you're not seeing that?
Islarin, you look over.
I need to roll my perception.
Oh, you can see it. You can see the people over there. You can also see that the giant S-curved black thing in the sky is approaching. It is very high up. Very, very high. It appears to be not much more than a thread at this distance, but it looks like it's just cutting the sky into two halves by how long this thing is. Can I get your perception check?
Is
Please be
that
higher than
thing?
9.
All right. With a 20, Islarin, as you look up, you can see that this black line is trailing green fire up in the sky as two enormous wings are beating at its sides. I'm going to go ahead and display what is up above you guys.
Bye, Eowyn.
bye, Eowyn.
Goodbye, Eowyn. Have a wonderful time.
Bye, Eowyn.
Later, anyone?
All right. And I need to refresh because apparently the screen did not update properly. There we go. if you do not see the entity on the screen, you may need to refresh your browser.
I'm going to try refreshing.
Good.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Oh,
It seems
Does Covet see that?
Roll your perception checks, as it is currently
up in
above
the
the
air,
ship.
Junior bird.
I rolled a 24.
Yeah, you see it. Hard to miss.
Is that Vagradan?
It is.
Once Covet sees this, she rushes over to Islarin and says, "We don't need to engage that thing. That is Vagradan. Nope, big 3-mile long dragon. No way."
guess we should do our best not to attract its attention.
Agreed. Leslie says that is not the one that we want to mess with.
So, approaching the ship, you see several fins and a humanoid shape approaching. Not quite as fast as the figure up in the sky, but fast nonetheless.
Can we tell? Are they're traveling together? Like,
Yes, the humanoid figure at sea level seems to be floating over the waves and traveling beneath Vagradan.
but does it look like he's being chased by Vagradan, or that he is traveling with Vagradan?
Roll an insight check.
Insight is definitely my main thing.
Of course it is.
Not too bad.
So, with an insight of 16, they do not appear to be frightened by the situation, but rather to be colluding in their travels.
They're coming straight for us.
They are.
Would I be able to recognize that we have encountered people like this before? Like before Narzel left with the World Eaters?
Yeah.
I don't think so. This is what she looks like as she's approaching, and you may need to refresh if it's pixelated.
Yeah, it is.
That or zoom out and back in. If you zoom out and back in, it will refocus. This is the person who is approaching the ship.
Would this person be of the same, based on what I've seen, what they're wearing and stuff like that, would this person be of the same group following Vagradan?
You've not known any groups following Vagradan. Not that I'm aware of.
Because we encountered
Oh, we did.
people
You did find
before
one.
with
You're
Vagradan.
right. You did encounter one, and this person is dressed in that same mead. Yes.
Miss Lauren, well, I think we might have some trouble coming our way, but we don't want to engage. We don't want to engage the dragon.
Well, if its acolytes approach us, then we have little choice. We should get ourselves to positions.
Agreed.
I
I'm
don't
gonna go
know
get
that we're
everybody.
going to have a choice here, Covet. They're coming straight for us.
Yeah, but we didn't deal with the dragon last time either. Just the acolyte. So I'm going to raise the alarm about coffee, right, Islarin?
I think we can just raise the alarm in general. We don't need to. We're not worried about them listening in.
That's true. Okay. All right. And she runs over to the door that leads below decks and says, guys, we need help. Potential harm coming towards us?
maybe I'll brief Romos on like our previous encounter with the acolytes we fought all that time ago, and start directing him and the other crew, the Fantastic Four, just to be ready for trouble.
Awesome. Cool. As you guys prepare, the woman rises up off the surface of the ocean and hovers. As she approaches the ship, the fins disappear beneath the waves. She approaches. Hearken to me. Serve Lord Vagrodan, and you will be spared. Your ship will not decorate the bottom of the sea, and we will not have to slay thee. What say you to me?
We have rejected Vagrodan's appeal before. You see no inclination to alter such course.
You defy that which rules the world.
He rules the world. Does he have any need for us to state such a thing?
To test loyalty is my job. Fail to pass, and your heads will bob.
Covet leans over to Lauren and says quietly, I think we're failing her test. That's okay.
I think there was little chance we would pass it.
Agreed.
No, we will not serve Vagrodan. We will not express any loyalty to him. However, you are invited to depart from the ship. Otherwise, you will be removed.
She smiles coldly at you. Roll your intimidation check, Islarin. A 15. Okay, let's see. With a 22, she scoffs at
I
you.
silvery barbs that.
You're going to silvery barbs it? Okay. Who would you like to grant your D20 to, sir?
Myself.
To yourself. Understood? The wisdom saving throw instead becomes a 19.
Damn.
She looks at you all in turn. Well,
Intimidation of 22.
a 22? Okay. What did you say, Covet?
Leave or face the wrath of the heir of Shantara Grove.
She raises her eyebrows and pulls back a moment. And where is they?
The fact that you don't recognize is concerning.
You are the heir to the father of my sire? Ha! I will pass indifference. You have been spared this day, my liege. And she will pass by, and the Finns are going to also pass by, leaving you guys in peace on this rainy day.
Okay, can you say that one more time of the whole liege thing, please? I want to make sure I got that right.
She's leaving in peace on this rainy day.
Oh no, about the whole liege thing. You know that. Don't do that to me.
Oh, that part? That part doesn't matter.
that to me.
She called. Oh, what are you? It's on the recording. You'll be fine. No, I will go ahead and do this. I don't need to frustrate you more than I already have. No, she called him the heir to the sire of her master.
Oh. Oh. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that's a roller coaster.
Wow. Ooh.
And with that little reveal, that's where we're going to end for today. And we will come back next week to continue the adventure as even more it becomes us against the gods.